Before we dive into today's episode, I have something for you, but this is only if you are a woman who has bills to pay and children to feed, and you still want to feel alive and energized and fulfilled while doing it. Head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/ETM. I am hosting an energetic time management challenge, a habit challenge. So not only am I going to show you how to create habits that only need to take 10 minutes a day. Yes, 10 minutes a day. You're going to learn how to reverse engineer how you want to feel, where to focus your energy and attention to get your energy back now, how to manage your energy, not your time, so your to-do list does not suck the life out of you, so you can be present for your children, so you can feel productive in your day, so you can go after your dreams without feeling like there's never enough time, or that you're never enough. So if you are a woman raising children, this is for you. Head on over to heatherchauvin.com/ETM. And if you missed this live round, because yes, there are live calls and there's a sense of community as well, then get on the wait list and you can join us for the next one. Deep self-trust and failing fast. All right, ladies, I am back doing a solo podcast today, and oh boy, I have a good update for you. So I want to talk about deep self-trust. And I also want to talk about failing incredibly fast. So to give you a backstory, I would say the last few years, in general, I have felt this huge transformation shift. And if you've been following me for a while, you know the podcast switched names, headed into a different life cycle in my mothering, and just a deeper desire to have different conversations. And everything in my business is staying the same, just more defined. Transition in our lives is inevitable. Growth is inevitable, right? We are constantly evolving as beings, as people. You're aging. Every aspect of your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being is constantly evolving as well. Your children are evolving if you have children. Like, everything is evolving. Relationships, we are constantly growing and outgrowing things as well. It's just how nature works. So once you understand that you are a natural being, you discover how to fail fast. I used to hear these quotes about fail fast, fail forward, and I really didn't understand what they meant. I understood what failure is, but when you're actually in it and you are failing or you are testing things, shame comes up, like deep, deep shame of I am not enough. I suck. This isn't good. And this was a reminder of kind of a reflection that I was hearing from people today. We wrapped up our March Attracting Profit Accelerator. For those who listen to my private podcast about business, you can check that out at heatherchauvin.com/profit. And over there, we have business conversations. And we did a Attracting Profit Accelerator for those women. And I was telling some of them that the ones that really saw success this month were the ones that were willing to fail fast. They were willing to implement things, get feedback, take action again. And interesting part about that is those that were willing to do that would send me messages and say like, oh my God, I failed. Or, oh, I feel silly asking this question. And you could tell that their shame was triggered, like shame or embarrassment of like not feeling good enough, but they did it anyways. They took the action anyways. And that is what failing fast is all about. So while I've been going through this transition in this season in my life of like the lack of clarity that comes when you're growing and you're not yet on the other side, I know internally or intellectually that this too shall pass. I just need to fail fast and I need to keep moving forward. I've been through this cycle so many times, personally and professionally, that I know all I have to do is just fail fast, learn my lessons, and move on. Now, I want to talk about deep self-trust. And I don't know if I said this or not. I'm sure I've had in the last 3 months, but I have been, this year, I said, I wonder, I've talked a lot about self-trust. And I'm like, I wonder what it would look like if I deeply trusted myself in this situation and acted from that place. A lot of times when I'm working with people, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of self-doubt, imposter syndrome, like whatever the heck you want to call it. Well, the opposite of all of that is deep self-trust. And so it's not always that we don't know what we need to do, but we need to listen to that deep inner part of us that truly wants our energy and attention. And then we need to lead our lives or parent or work or have those emotionally uncomfortable conversations from that place of deep self-trust. So I'm going to give you an example of this, and then I'll wrap it all up. This whole year, I'm like, I wonder what it would look like if I deeply trusted myself. And then I try to take action from that place, not necessarily believing that the action I'm taking is the right action. Okay. This is why I also love community. And a lot of times when people enter communities, whether it's like a program or any type, it doesn't have to be a program. It could be like you're on a Zoom call with a group of people. You are in a work environment with a whole bunch of people. I personally learned so much from being in a group setting. You either learn what you were supposed to from being in that group, or you learn by observation. And I'm a very observant person. So deep self-trust. I went to this event this past week and I walked in not knowing what I was supposed to get from this scenario. I always trust that when I join an event or I'm attending an event, that the lessons I am supposed to receive will come from it. I always walk out better. Like sometimes I have no idea, that was not the expectation, but I always walk out a better person than when I walked in. And that is the whole point of investing in yourself in anything, time, money, and energy. You will always learn something, even if it's what you didn't want to learn, right? And I went into this experience and these were all women and I didn't really know any of these women. And I, just like most other women, walk into a group of women and we play the comparison game of like, I'm not good enough. And we judge ourselves based on other people, their success, what they look like. We're just like, oh, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Right. This is just like, first of all, I know it's bullshit. And I pay attention to it. I pay attention to the parts of myself that goes into the comparison trap. But this week was different. I walked into the room pretending, I wonder how I would act if I deeply trust myself. Over and over again, I kept saying that. I could feel like the shame or the not enoughness, right, washing over me. I would literally be walking towards a group, like there would be 3 people, and I'd be walking towards them. And I could, maybe they were at a table and there's an extra seat and I have to walk up to that table and I have to sit down and say, is this seat taken? And I need to sit down, right? I need to invite myself to that table. And as I'm walking, I can feel the conversation starting in my head, which is, Don't sit there. They don't want you sitting there. You're not enough. You're not included in this conversation. You weren't invited here. And any form of comparison or self-sabotage or whatever the heck you want to call it. But me being me, I don't listen to those thoughts. And I said, how do you want to feel, Heather? Well, I want to feel connected. I want to give value to these women in this conversation. So I'm going to show up to this conversation and I'm going to act as if I matter. I'm going to act as if I can sit in this seat and I am worthy of being here. I'm going to deeply trust myself. And I kept doing this over and over and over again. And it was a little exhausting because you're chronically coaching yourself, but I was practicing what I preach. And then I entered a conversation with a woman who was in an area of expertise that is not mine. And this area of expertise was something that I was very curious about, always curious. Like in the back of my mind, my brain always goes like, oh, I should do that thing in my business. Because she taught this aspect of it. And I asked her flat out, when do you think people should implement your strategy in their business? And she looked at me and she gave me the most blunt and honest answer. And she went on and on and on from a very confident space in her expertise. And at the end of that, she said, I'm sorry for being so honest, but I just can't stand when people have been lied to and they implement something before they're ready to implement it. And I looked at her and I was like, I now think we're going to be best friends. Because her being deeply honest with me gave me so much freedom. Because she answered the question in alignment with what my gut was telling me.
Now, a quick break for today's sponsor, Athletic Greens AG1. I've been using them for a while now, and it's become a part of my daily life. And not only that, I am absolutely loving that without trying to convince anyone in my house, they started using this too. This is the magic of developing those habits and just becoming the type of person that takes daily care of their health. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews. It's recommended by professional athletes and trusted by leading health experts. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-boosting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit Athletic Greens, ATHLETIC greens.com/EU for emotionally uncomfortable. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/EU to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Now back to today's episode.
So I want to explain something to you. I had to have deep self-trust to put myself at that table, to say yes to the opportunity to including myself in a conversation that radically transformed how I saw something. I had to first have the courage to be vulnerable and to trust myself and to sit at the table. Then I had to have the courage to ask the question and deeply trust myself. Then I had to have the courage to receive the emotionally uncomfortable answer because she needed to deeply trust herself that she felt safe to tell me the truth. Every ounce of this clarity that I received involved deep self-trust. It involved me saying, I am worthy of being here. I am worthy of asking this question. I am worthy of being heard. I am worthy of being seen. And because I kept showing up like that, and this woman said in her own mind, and of course, I don't know what her inner voice sounds like, but she was like, I'm going to trust myself that I know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to speak my truth, even if this other woman doesn't want to hear me. And this is the power of deep self-trust. It's like when you start to listen and you're like, I'm going to trust that. And then you act on it and it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to. You have to take that contrast of what you don't like about it. And it's not bad. It's just what doesn't feel good. And you have to learn from it. Failing fast is not bad. You are co-creating with the universe. You're co-creating with your coaches. You're co-creating with your family. You're co-creating with your children. You're co-creating with your partner. And you're saying, I don't have all the freaking answers. Let's try this. That didn't work. Okay, now let's pivot. Let's try this. All right, that didn't work. Now let's try this. But you're not going to give yourself permission to fail if you don't trust yourself. Over the last few years, as I've been questioning my sanity and asking myself, like, what conversations do I want to have? I'm not teaching people how to make green smoothies here. I'm teaching them how to trust their soul and live in alignment. I'm realizing that this deep self-trust comes from, it's the core of everything. It's the relationships that we want to have with our children. It's the money we want to make. It's how we want to feel in our body. It's knowing what foods work for us, the ones we want to put in our mouths, knowing where we need to focus our time and our energy, and knowing the life we want to live. We need to deeply trust ourselves. And unfortunately, trust is gained when we take action. We begin to develop self-trust when we have the courage to take action, even if we fail. And having the courage to be vulnerable will transform the way you live, work, play, and parent. So my message for you today is that I hope you fail. I hope you invest money and time and energy in things that don't work out. But I hope the things that you invest your time, your money, your energy in are little failures. And you pivot quickly. And I hope your failures don't deter you. I hope they make you stronger. And I hope the outcome of that, the contrast of what you don't want to feel, gets your attention. And I hope you say, fuck, not this. And then you ask yourself, then what? If I don't want this, what do I want? And then you have the courage to deeply trust yourself and start again. Have the courage to show up to the conversation. Have the courage to ask the questions. Have the courage to have the emotionally uncomfortable conversations. And have the courage to say, that doesn't work for me. Have the courage to negotiate what you want. Have the courage to hold a boundary. Have the courage to say, even though you are my child, I will not do that for you when you've given all you have. And have the courage to create 10 minutes at a time to change your life. Deep self-trust and failing fast. That's it, ladies. Go trust yourself and let me know what comes out of it when you actually start to take action and say, if I trusted myself, how would I show up differently?
Are you tired of being tired? Stop just surviving and find out exactly where to focus your energy and attention. I'm going to give you access to realistic tools to confidently manage your energy, emotions, and impact. Head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/life quiz and take the aligned life quiz today. It's free. And not only am I going to show you which pillar to focus on of inner leadership. Do you need to focus on managing your energy and time? Do you need to focus on boundaries, getting a deeper sense of purpose in your life, or your emotional triggers? And are you living in a state of survival mode, momentum, thrival, or abundance? This 2-minute quiz will show you how and where to focus your energy and attention. So instead of feeling like you're playing whack-a-mole all over and overwhelmed with where to start, I'm going to show you how. Head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/life quiz.
Hi, I'm Tatiana. I'm from Germany. I joined the mastery program because I was feeling quite stuck in my life. And when I was asking myself what I want and what I need, I went completely blank. So deep inside, I actually knew that there must be a different way. There must be another way for me. So a lot has changed since I joined the mastery program. From the outside, my life hasn't changed that much, but what did change is how I look at myself and others, and how I treat myself and others, and how I communicate, especially with my husband. And I started, after I started asking myself what I want and what I need and digging deeper, I started realizing where my boundaries are. So I started also communicating them. And I learned also to be more compassionate with myself. And as a result, I can now be also more compassionate with others. I started also questioning everything in my life, especially my to-do list, and asking myself, do I actually have to do it right now? Or do I have to do it? Or can somebody else help me? And I also started realizing when I am hustling, when I'm busying myself, when I'm running away. And I knew that, okay, I'm running away from something. I'm running away from myself. I'm running away from doing the uncomfortable work and actually being honest with myself. And what I learned is also to think outside of this little tiny box that I created for myself throughout the years. Heather's program and her approach for me is unique because she is focusing on all areas of your life: parenting, self, marriage, and work. And she also integrates the masculine and the feminine side of us. So she would tell me when I need to push and get uncomfortable and take action. But she would also tell me when I need to slow down and create space for myself and get quiet and sit with myself. Thank you, Heather, so much for everything that you do. You helped me. You opened my eyes to things that were there, but I couldn't see them. And you showed me also a different way of looking at things. So thank you so much.